Alright guys, so here's the other video I was going to make. Again, I apologize for going backwards with this, but I wasn't really sure how hard it was going to be taking this apart. It was actually a lot easier than I thought it was. I was told we were going to have to take the entire cooling deck out, which if you've ever had to do that, you know you got to take all of this front part out. In addition to the shelf and all the drink items, pull the cooling deck out, then pull all this apart. However, it's actually a lot easier than that. This is basically all the tools I used. A drill with a Phillips head bit. I ended up using this little small Phillips head because the drill was too long for a couple screws. I just used a knife for the electrical wire. I didn't have my electrical tools with me, so I just used that. Just roll electrical tape and a pair of pliers. And I did need two electrical wire nuts for when we put these back on there. But if you can see, all we did was we'd taken these screws out here. There's 1, 2, 3 screws. The fan comes out. There is a nut on the inside, but you don't have to get anything on the inside while you're loosening that. If you just loosen these screws out, the nut will fall off. I also loosened this one up so I can take this off and swing it around to actually get to some of the nuts, just like this, and actually get to the fan. You probably don't actually have to do that, but again, I didn't have any directions with this, so I just took it apart just in case. So I'm going to tighten that up here in a minute. And one of the first things you want to do is right down here, you want to take out your sensor, your little temperature sensor here. That way when this thing falls down, you're not going to break that. So again, it's just a regular little Phillips head screw. I'm just going to put that back in there. And I'm going to put that in real quick. Alright. So when you're ready to put this thing back together or take it apart, all you have to do is loosen this screw here. There's a little nut that's going to fit right here. It's really, really tiny. I don't know if you can see it or not in my hand, but it's extremely tiny. All you got to do is take a pair of pliers, grab it and twist it a little bit, and it'll come right off. There's one right in here behind these wires. There's another one on this side over here. It goes in right here. Once you take those two out, you take, again, the 2 screws here in the front, the one here and on the other side, and then there's one more screw right here on top. You take those out, you lift up on this, and this thing will pop straight out. The reason you have to lift up on it is there's 2 little wings where those little nuts hook on, and you'll be able to see them here in just a second after this thing slid in. Here, right over here, you can see one of them. It's just this little wing right here, and it just fits right over that little piece right in here, and then you just put that nut on it, and then just screw everything back down, and you should be good to go. So.